Hello, friends and strangers on the internet. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are back with a coffee request. I'm pretty excited for this one. This one's a bit of a long one. We are checking out a tidal rising documentary. So it's like when I think of a documentary, I think of something that's like 40 minutes long or longer. So I would consider this a mini documentary. It's only about 20 and a half minutes long, but it's coming to us from the TIDAL channel here on YouTube. The link will be in the description if you'd like to check this out without me reacting to it. And of course, I will be adding the link to the artist who this documentary is about underneath that if you've never heard of this artist. We will be checking out this documentary about the band The Warning. Happy Warning Day. It's actually not a warning day. I thought about waiting till Wednesday so I could say it's Wednesday Warning Day, but I felt like doing it today, so we're doing it today. I'm probably gonna have to cut that out of the video now. Whoops. Anyway. But yes, we will be checking out the tidal rising documentary called The Warning, the Mexican rock stars who happen to be sisters. So I'm pretty excited about this. We're going to learn a little bit about The Warning and probably from their own words. I don't know. I'm just excited. I'm pretty excited. Again, it is coming to us from the TIDAL channel. Original link will be in the description. If you'd like to check out The Warning, that will be the link below that one. And you can go listen to their music if you've never heard of them. Let's jump into this. I'm pretty excited. Thank you to the person who supported me on my Ko-fi page by suggesting this documentary and another documentary that I will be checking out soon. I'm really looking forward to that one. I appreciate your support of my channel. I appreciate you suggesting these videos, and I appreciate everyone else who's just here watching. I appreciate you as well, but for different reasons. Let's go. Let's jump into this. The Warning, the Mexican rock stars who happen to be sisters. I think that's what the title said. My phone is covering it now. Let's jump into this. Oh, I should probably, since this is a long video and my computer tends to be quite picky, I'm going to lower the quality on this. All right, let's go.
We obviously started playing here in Mexico. We're Mexicans, we're from Mexico. So our first shows were always here in our home and then just across the country. And I feel like we've seen it grow over the years and how we started and just our crowd. And it makes me so excited that people my age are looking for this energy and like this music specifically.
Oh gosh, I really hope that this documentary doesn't feature any songs I haven't heard yet. Oh dear, if that's the case, I don't know. I guess I'll have to react to them soon. I don't know. Anyway, let's just keep going. I remember that one.
There aren't a lot of female-led rock bands, only woman rock bands. So she started working as a young teen, a kid. We didn't even start out as women. Like we started out as little girls in this industry. Children, literally.
Look at them, they're so young.
It involves a lot, and we were doing it with our parents. Like we were pretty protected. Like they supported us so much. They got us into lessons.
Y'all, not to, I mean, I don't mean to interrupt Pao as she's speaking, but like that is super important. Okay, like that right there, parental support is super important. Like it really makes a big difference. A child could be a prodigy at something like with their talent, but without parental support, without that direction, without that like encouragement, that talent could go absolutely wasted. I'm just saying, like, I'm speaking about this as a parent and a fairly new parent. My children are still quite young, but they are starting to like blossom into their talents, and I'm having to, look for how I need to encourage that. So I may have like a specific point of view because I'm like a new parent whose kids are at the age where they're starting to blossom into their personalities and their talents. And it's just, I'm starting to learn, this is something I kind of already knew, but I'm starting to experience it in my life personally, like how important it is to be encouraging of those talents, to be supportive of those things, and just that support is so important. Like that support is so important. Like the opportunity cost of not having parental support in a child's talent can really get in the way of future ambitions. And that's something I've also noticed, like with other new bands that I'm discovering on this channel, that especially younger ones. Freeze the Fall is probably one of the better examples because that one's one I've recently discovered. Parental support is so super duper important, and that can make a world of difference for a child's budding career or future career, or could even snip their ambitions right in the bud before they have a chance to really grow their talents. So I think that, yes, it is. I'm really glad that Pao is pointing out how important like her family support was, because these three young girls could have been very talented, and it could have gone absolutely nowhere without the help of their parents, the support of their parents. So yeah, that was a lot of words, and I'm sorry to interrupt like so early in the documentary already, but that is so super important. Like, I don't know, like I feel this need as a new parent to like just say that in case there are other people out there who are planning on being parents or who have kids and it's just like just didn't think of it or something. Like, I don't know, that really is important. Like, that's just so super important, how much of a difference it makes to have parents supporting their children's talent, especially when it's something like music or art of some sort. I'm just saying. I'm sorry I'm rambling. Let's just keep going.
Our parents, like, we were pretty protected. Like, they supported us so much. They got us into lessons. Like, they bought us our instruments. Like, they give us the liberty to like really concentrate on music.
Because imagine you're like just a teenager, maybe 13, and you want to do this, but of course there's tons of different things that you want to try out and do, so like sticking with it was also hard, you know.
I bet. Look at them.
The band started out as a 5-member band. Our parents are part of the band. Right now, obviously, our family has grown a bit more, like with our team, our management, and everyone that works with us. But as we keep on working, that is always like the center of everything, and everyone we start working with starts feeling like family, because we've always had that vibe. I feel like we've learned how to be like disciplined and responsible and like level-headed. And I feel like that's really important for the industry that we're in. So a big hug to Mom and Dad for everything.
Kind of reminds me, I should shout out my mom. She's like the one person who has made it the most possible for me to even have this YouTube channel. So like, you know, quick shout out to my mom. Love you. Thank you for all your love and support. Without you, I wouldn't have been able to even have this YouTube channel. Just say, like, it's parental support makes a huge difference. It really does. I'm not saying people can't make it without that. I'm just saying it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference to have people who support you, especially family. Anyway, let's keep going.
What we think really got us into this energetic music and rock and roll was definitely the Rock Band, the video game.
Nice.
We loved to play that game, and it was so fun that we just like looked at the screen and we just, oh, we want to do that. I told my dad, like, I want to play the guitar. He's like, are you sure? And I was like, of course. By the first week, my fingers hurt so much that I was like, please, no. But I fell in love with it, and there was no going back.
I've been playing for 13 years. I don't like that number, but okay, 13 years. And, well, I've been playing since I was a little kid. I would always play on the drums, like the toy drums. And I remember I really liked hitting things. So it was like a perfect match for me. And my dad saw that I have really good coordination. And he asked me like, hey, like, are you up for lessons? Like, do you want to give it a shot? And I was like, yeah. Nobody wanted to give me lessons. What? I looked like a toddler.
Aww.
And like I was super short. Like playing the drums, it didn't look very promising for me. But I met one teacher and I had like a test class, and the teacher was like, "Oh, leave her with me. Like she'll be good. Like, let's do this."
Parents bought me my first bass, and of course I was really young and really short and I couldn't play a full-scale bass, so they bought me a smaller bass, which I have right here.
Right there.
Yeah. It's really small and I still couldn't play that, and I learned for about a month, and then we started playing together immediately. So I didn't really have like that much time to get used to my instrument before we started playing together.
Okay, wait. I know that this isn't part of it. I'm going to ask you a question.
Do it.
Like,
Do it.
Cause I know this isn't my place, but I will. Cause there's a lot of people who tell you like, why don't you play with a pick? Because normally rock music is just like, but you like from the start.
I
was
always
like
play with my
finger
fingers.
style.
I know how to play with a pick now, and I really do like the sound of it. But I don't know. I just always played with my.
I actually didn't know that people played bass guitar with a pick. I tried learning bass, and I never even like considered playing with the pick. It was always with my fingers. But I have small fingers, and the bass guitar strings are very large. I tried. I remember trying to learn how to play bass. I'm so jealous. I think it was just a lack of discipline on my part. I probably could have gotten good at it if I had like stuck with it in practice, but I never did. So I feel like I'm kind of jealous of people who are really good at bass guitar because I never really had that discipline to like make myself practice, you know, and like make myself get good at it with like working hard at it. It's so cool watching her play. I love watching people play bass. I just want an excuse to take it back and watch her do that again.
I always play with my
finger
fingers.
style.
I know how to play with a pick now, and I really do like the sound of it. But I don't know, I just always played with my fingers, and I do feel more comfortable with my fingers, even though I do play more on time with a pick. It's weird. Huh. It does hurt more though, but
I get it. It's like when I play without shoes and when I play with shoes.
I get it.
The big turning point in our careers, like we did our Enter Sandman cover, which went viral, but I feel like the point where we were like, we really want to do this like for the rest of our lives was when we started writing our own music and releasing our own stuff. That was like, whoa, like we can create something, put it out in the world, and people react to it. It was just something that we really liked.
The way she said people react to it, like literally, like there's like whole genres of YouTube channels that do what I do, where we listen to music and we like share our reaction to it. Like I think that was really fun the way she said that. I know that wasn't in the same context, but it's like, hey, I'm reacting.
We can create something, put it out in the world, and people react to it. It was just something that we really liked and looked forward to. So now that we're doing what we do today, like I just feel like it's the thing that really keeps us going, our music.
This one doesn't sound familiar. Alright, so that's probably a song I haven't reacted to yet. Somebody let me know which song that is, and I'll make a note to react to it soon.
Of course, like any type of siblings, like we have our disagreements and our little fights and stuff like that, but we get along really well.
We know each other so well that we know how to make it work.
Exactly. And in the second that we start writing music, everything just flows really nicely. Like, I don't know what to call it except like sibling magic.
The fancy business word for that is synergy. I don't know. I don't know, but I could be wrong. But I think that's the fancy like business term for when teams work seamlessly with each other. I think they call that synergy. It's wonderful that they can do that as siblings, you know.
Escape the Mind. Those were our first compositions ever. That was our first time writing. I was like 12.
That is a cool album art. Like, I love the concept of it. I just want to stare at it for a moment. That's really cool looking. Okay, let's keep going.
I was 14 and I was 9. We were children.
Little. They were little.
But it was the moment where we really fell in love with music and like what we wanted to do. Like creating something was just such a powerful experience.
And you know, it was such a key thing, I think, personally, that we were not thinking about will people like it, because we were not going to release it. We were not even going to record it. It was not going to be a thing. So we just literally wrote from our 14-year-old hearts. And
Walk onto the very top and I'll run, even though I stumble. And then we jump into our first album, 21st Century Blood. And it was weird because some of the compositions that are in 21st Century Blood were written in the same time as Escape the Mind. But there was this very big leap we gave with this song that we made called Free Falling.
Add this one to the list of songs I'm gonna have to react to soon.
It was the first song we actually wrote together.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know, it was also a big thing that we started like looking for outside inspiration. We really like what's happening in the world that we can write about.
And more than anything, like we read so much and we consume a lot of media, as any Gen Z teen does. So we were constantly getting inspired by other stories that we were hearing. So 21st Century Blood was like, we felt like it was our first step. You know, like, okay, we're a band now. This is our album. And nothing will change. I'm crashing through space. I'm burning up, and there's nothing I can put out this way.
And one thing that I really like that we do, we really looked for what the song needed. We were like, okay, so what if this is a song with only piano, violins, and stuff like that? Like, we didn't focus on, oh, we have to be rock. We just focused on the energy that went into the song. So if you hear our music, sometimes it will be very varied within the same album.
I love that philosophy in songwriting, that it doesn't necessarily have to start with the template of the genre that you've put yourself in or categorize yourself as. I like that philosophy of being like, what does this song as an isolated project need? Regardless of whether it seamlessly flows with the rest of the album, this song has an idea and it has a purpose, and how do we amplify that in this one individual song? I love that philosophy in songwriting. I think that's really nice. That could be why all of their songs have this like sense of completeness to them. I can't think. The reason I use the word completeness is I would consider a lot of their songs to be literally perfect, and the word perfect comes from the Latin root word for complete. Fun little linguistics thing if you're curious about stuff like that. But that's how I see it, is like, it doesn't feel like there's anything missing from it. I don't know. Sometimes you hear a song and it's like, this could sound really good if it was remixed this way, or maybe it would sound better if somebody added some bells to it in the background. You're like, sometimes when somebody does a live performance or a live arrangement of a song, they might add other instruments to it to really amplify how it's going. And it sounds like the women, these women from The Warning are doing that ahead of time. Like, they're thinking of how can I picture this song as its own isolated project and complete that picture within that one song. I like that idea. I like that philosophy in songwriting. That's really, really cool. I don't know. I think that's really cool. And that could be why their music is so special, is because they're not coming from it as, oh, well, I need to write this song as a rock star writing rock music. It's just, this is a song and we want it to sound this way. How do we make it sound this way? That's cool. That's a really cool way of looking at that and coming at that and, like, you know, approaching like your art style. That's really cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's keep going.
But then Queen of the Murder Scene comes. It's our second album, and Queen of the Murder Scene. I was in middle school. I started going through my emo phase, so you can hear it clearly there how that shift, and like, I'm angsty now.
You don't really wanna be like me. These songs and these albums like grew with us. It's literally, you can see like the change.
Yeah, you can feel the
personality.
Yeah,
our
and
music.
Queen of the Murder Scene is a concept album. It tells a story.
A novel.
It was like a novel, and it was a really different process writing songs to fit a narrative.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was
Especially
really hard.
because she just got done saying how, like, they would write songs, like, individually. Now, with this album, they're actually doing a whole concept, so each song does have to tie in with the other songs around it. Ooh, that's got to be a very different experience for them, having done that after she just got done explaining how, like, they used to write songs individually, whether they and you know, they still do, but like for that one concept album, that had to have been quite an experience to write songs that way. That's very, very cool. I'm gonna take it back a little bit because I think I interrupted her, but that's really cool to have like chosen to do a project like that despite the way that they had been writing music before. That's cool.
Writing songs to fit a narrative and a plot.
It was really hard.
It was hard because we had some, and then we had to add like the filler episodes, but we didn't want them to feel like filler songs. So we really had to put meaning into every single little part. But I was like really into this idea of making it a whole album about this story. And when I told them about it, they were like,
why is there blood everywhere?
I was like, please hear me out.
We had to change
so much,
like a lot of the storyline, because it wasn't
that
like
much
of a storyline.
It was just like
murder. But at the same time,
you were getting into.
I was getting into K-pop.
That's true. I just remember that too.
We took the emo phase K-pop like
Route.
express line, right?
Yeah.
So you can hear a lot of influences in there that maybe you don't pinpoint them as such, but for us it's really apparent like which phases we were going through.
That key change into the one.
Those key changes, those harmonies, like it was all very K-pop-y for us.
It's a thing that we also love to do, that as we start learning new ways of doing this, we just like, okay, what's the next thing that we can try out with our music?
Oh man, I love that. Oh, I love that. Like, I try to do that philosophy with like my YouTubing and like I guess also with my music, but that's like less of a hobby for me. But like, yeah, that's, oh my gosh, there's something so exciting about like learning new techniques and then like getting to apply them to what you're doing. Like, I so get that. Like as a like aspiring creator of sorts, because I'm just a reaction channel, but still like I totally get that like I learned like, for example, with editing, like I've recently learned how to get a little bit better with editing, so my videos might have a little bit more than just my face and my little window over. It's on this side actually, over here where the video will be, but like I'm learning like little tips and tricks, and like every time I learn something new, it's like, when do I get another chance to apply that to another video or something? Or same with music, like when I'm watching my reactions and I'm learning about different music styles, I'll like hear an artist do something really, really cool, and it's like, ooh, I want to try that sometime. Obviously I won't be able to make it sound as cool as this artist just did, but I want to try that. I want to incorporate that. I want to play with that. And it's like, yes, it's so exciting to like see them talk about that, because it's like I know that feeling. Like, I learned a new trick and now I want to apply it to the things I do in the future. And it's like, yes, I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, it's so exciting watching these women talk about their passion. It is. And it's just like, it makes me feel inspired. And like, I think that's why I keep drawing it back to like my own my own like experience and like how I relate to it, because it's like, it is inspiring me to have new ideas. It's motivating me to want to work harder. It's like listening to them talk about how they have achieved these goals and how they have worked on this together is like making me want to work hard too, you know? Like, it's like, I don't know what it is. It's very motivating. It's very inspiring. It makes me want to like get to work on stuff, you know? It makes me want to like play with some more music and learn some more editing techniques and like make my videos better. Like, it's just really cool. It's moving in a very motivating way, and I like it. I really like listening to them talk about this.
We also love to do that as we start learning new ways of doing this, we just like, okay, what's the next thing that we can try out with our music?
Yeah.
So
and Queen of the Murdercino was key changes.
Nice.
Yeah. It was
definitely
change the key.
That was a theme.
Coming from Queen of the Murder Scene, things are really different now, because I feel like we really grew as people,
even
as musicians,
more, like,
right? Because we're going through our teenage years. Of course, you grow a lot from one year to another, and you start living different experiences and stuff like that. So I feel like this third album is personal. Yeah. Like, it talks more about our feelings or situations that are close to us, or our opinions on certain situations. Was one of the songs that we started writing together, and we had music first before lyrics and melody. It's usually the other way around. So the three of us were in this room, and Danny and I were like playing like getting the riff, and I was like, let me write a melody really quickly for the verse and just like put some lyrics on there. I'm not in danger, I'm the danger now. And I was like, hey, that's a good line.
That's a cool
I'm not in
line.
danger, I'm the danger.
I do feel that it encases what this new album represents for us, the changes that we went through as musicians, as people, and in writing, because we saw things differently. Like right now, we really concentrated on adding a lot of like new harmonies and how like the bass and the drums were going to play together. And then differently at the same time.
Like there is so much room to grow, and we always enter these situations like with big wondrous eyes. Like we're gonna learn today. What are we gonna learn now?
What's gonna happen now?
I love that. That makes me want to go into every day that I do recording with, I'm gonna learn today. What a lovely mantra to start the day with, actually. Like, can you imagine starting your work day? I mean, obviously what I do is not a real job, so I feel very uncomfortable calling it a work day. But can imagine starting your work day with the idea of, I'm going to learn something today. I wonder what it's going to be. What a wondrous way to, like, you know, go into a project or go into any form of something that's going to require effort. Like, I don't know. My experience going into work every day was, ugh, I'm here again, but let's make that money. But what if the motivation was, I'm going to learn something today. I wonder what it's going to be. What an exciting way to like look at life. I love that. I want to try to remind myself to like start my work day with that feeling. Yeah, I'm going to learn something today. I wonder what it's going to be. I like that. What a wonderful way to look at life. I like that a lot. I want to start incorporating that into my life. That's beautiful. We'll take it back a bit in case I interrupted her.
Gonna learn now.
What's gonna happen now?
I love that.
You guys, this is you. Okay, everybody.
Oye, ¿cómo va? Mi ritmo bueno para gozar. Mulata, oye, ¿cómo va? Mi ritmo bueno para gozar. Mulata, pam 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 pam
Power space.
Definitely performing our songs live is a totally different universe. Like we treat it as such, even ourselves. We know it's nothing like recording in a studio, but it's so much fun. You're like directly sharing and expressing to the people who are watching you.
And I feel like our past albums, we try to grab like the sound, like how we sound live into our recordings, and we never really.
Oh, we have never accomplished.
We
that.
never accomplished that until like
this
third
album.
album.
I've already collapsed, so I'll just drown my sorrows in a non-existent world.
We put in a lot of hard work into
We're
our live
like,
shows. We really plan everything out, and we practice it a lot.
And even our movements, like if you see us playing in our early stages of the band, we're just like statues. And that's something that we actually worked on consciously. It's like how to play, being able to like jump around and bring more energy to the show.
Like we make fun of each other while we're on stage.
And I know like I shouldn't really be like saying this, but even when we mess up, we're like, oh, you messed up. Like,
we just look at each other like
you messed up.
When we play a show in our country and in our home city, it's just absolutely amazing.
Actually, our last show that we played was in Mexico City, and we hadn't been to Mexico City in a long time.
Yeah.
So coming back and seeing that we had more fans, like there were a lot of people watching us. It was just insane. It was one of the best shows
People
we've ever
like
had.
screaming our songs. We actually have like a video where you hear everyone singing on top of like it's
awesome.
Yeah, like you can't hear us. special.
a big scene
Like,
of energetic people ready
people are
for
really
metal.
passionate about music in general here in Mexico, and the crowds are always really energetic.
That
Like,
is something I've noticed. Not that I have like a lot of experience with it, but like before I did this reaction channel, I was also like co-hosting a music show, which I still sometimes co-host. We're just on hiatus right now. But we would listen to like underground music from around the world. And something I've noticed was that a lot of the artists we would feature on our radio show was rock bands from Mexico, and there was just like a whole different vibe. Okay, there's like a whole different vibe when it comes to rock music in Mexico specifically. I don't know what it is like. I don't think I would have noticed it if I had only been doing it for a short time, but we had been doing this, I guess you could call it a podcast or a radio show, whatever genre you want to call it. I would call it a radio show because it's not really reactions where you pause and react as you're watching it. We would play the whole song and then have our commentary about it. But like, just, I don't know what it is, but there's just something about rock music, especially like heavy rock music, like hard rock music and classic rock music. There seems to be a very huge and passionate scene in Mexico specifically for that style of music, rock music, heavy metal, and like classic rock, like that like stuff that was like super duper popular in like the late 90s in America. Like that style of rock music seems to be super duper popular in Mexico like right now, and has been for a very long time. And that's just something I noticed. Like we would get artists from Mexico who would send their links in. It was just like a whole different vibe. Like, and I've never been to Mexico. I live in Texas, so there's a lot of Mexican culture around me, but like, still, that's just something I happened to pick up on through that experience of like co-hosting that radio show, is like the rock music scene in Mexico is not to be played with. It is huge. It is passionate. They love their rock music. And it's just something that I noticed in that other show that I do here on YouTube. Like, man, that's and like the local artists we would feature would be really passionate about their music, like super duper passionate about their music to like a whole other level that we wouldn't always see from like other bands or other artists who would send us our music to like, you know, feature on our show and stuff. So it's like something I noticed, and I'm glad she mentioned that, because like it is a big thing. Like, I've never been there. I've never seen it for myself other than like, you know, through my radio show. But that is something I definitely noticed. Huge rock scene in Mexico. Huge, huge, huge. Very passionate. Lots of people. Very into it. Yeah. Let's keep going.
Like, of energetic people ready
people are
for
really
metal.
Passionate about music in general here in Mexico, and the crowds are always really energetic.
Like this energy that they transmit, you just can't help but give it back. It's really about making like a personal connection of what you want to transmit through your instrument. Cause I look at our past videos, like our covers, and I'm like, no, what are you doing? But we were so young, we were starting out, so it's okay. But I feel like that's a really nice thing. Looking back and seeing how much you've improved and how much you've grown.
Always a good feeling. I'm getting emotional. Oh, I'm starting to get emotional now. Like, I've been having fun this whole video, but now I'm starting to get emotional thinking about like how they've grown together and how they've worked on this band together. It's starting to make me a little bit emotional. Oh goodness. Okay.
Cuando todo apunta que por fin alguien te viene a rescatar, te encuentras nuevamente abandonado.
At the end of the day, like, there's a goal and there's something that you want to reach, and it's really about putting in a lot of work.
And just also be very conscious that the people who work around you are different, you know, are going through different things and will think differently than you. There's no one that will think exactly like you. So taking things with a grain of salt and not taking things personal for it to ruin like your experience is a key thing. You know, as sisters, we really have like that separate, you know, our working selves and, you know, our sister selves.
Sometimes people have these stereotypes or these stigmas, like we've seen it in places we've played in festivals and stuff like that. Like the treatment is really different to like other bands, like male bands. But we see that change after like
we play.
Yeah, we play, and then like people's faces completely change, and like everyone's just so excited.
Which is fun to see, because they remind themselves that it doesn't matter who is playing, their age, whatever it is. It's about the music.
Music is the language. It doesn't matter like where you're from, like what language you speak, like anything. Like music is the language.
Okay, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I got a little emotional at the end of that, so I'm gonna pause the recording, like wipe my face so that I don't have to do it on camera, and then I'll come back and share some of my final thoughts. Okay, I'm back. I managed to like hold those tears in my eyelids until I paused the video. I get a little self-conscious when there's actual tears on my face. Wow. I mean, I rambled enough during the actual like reaction part, but I did want to share some final thoughts, and probably just going to round off some of the thoughts I already mentioned, and that is that I really love their philosophy in music writing. Some of it is something I can kind of relate to, but I really love that they do it consciously, like, and I just like that. I like that, you know, like the way they do things, they, the strategies they come across for their music writing. Like I love like I really harped on it earlier, how they took the idea of like just isolating a song as its own project and focusing just on what does this song need. I like that concept a lot. I think that's really cool. I love how they talk about family and how it's so important to them. That really does make a huge difference. I probably talked way too much about that earlier in the video, and I'm sure like at least 50% of y'all clicked off at that point, because that seems to be what happens in my analytics. But that really does make a big difference, and it's good to see how they recognize that, and how they are very, very grateful for that loving connection they have with their family, that support they have with their family and with each other, and how that really makes a big difference in their ability to achieve the goals that they've set out for themselves. I love the idea that they go into each day of recording or working or practice with the idea of, we're going to learn something today. I wonder what it's going to be. I love that. I really love that. Like that's probably my favorite takeaway from this video, is that idea alone. I would love to look at life like that more, because I like that. I like that idea so much, and it just feels it feels warm. It feels warm. It feels exciting. It feels delightful. I like it. I can't find enough positive words to describe that. There was a couple other thoughts I had, if I can maybe remember them. And that's about it, except other than the fact that like this trio of women really inspires me, and I don't think I'm alone in this. I think I think there's something about watching them be successful, watching them work together, watching them talk about their method and everything else. Like I find that to be rather inspiring. I find it to be very motivating. It makes me want to work hard. It makes me want to work toward my goals. It makes me want to like really dig down deep within myself and find that level of determination needed to like get the job done each day. Like I don't know how else to describe it. Just it makes me feel motivated, and I'm not a very easily motivated person. You know, like some people are self-starters. They can like tell themselves like, this is what I got to get done today. And then they get that done today. Like I'm not, I categorize myself as a lazy person. So like having that, like, having that inspiration to be motivated and get things done is a good feeling. Like, it's just like, I want to get some stuff done too. I want to accomplish something. I want to be proud of myself. You know, like there's something about that I find so uplifting and heartwarming and encouraging and motivating. And I love it. Inspiring. To put it all in one nutshell of a word, inspiring. This band is just inspiring in every sense. In every sense. They make me want to make music. They make me want to work hard. Like they make me want to feel feelings. Like I don't know how else to describe it. They are just genuinely an inspiring band, and the story behind them is so inspiring too. And that was a good documentary. I talked through a lot of it, but I had a lot of thoughts through it and a lot of feelings through it. Man, I liked it though, and I'm really looking forward to the next one. Thank you to the coffee member who, or I don't know if you remember, but the coffee supporter who suggested this documentary. I'm really looking forward to the next one you suggested. I will probably do that next week based on what my schedule looks like right now. So probably early next week I'll get to that reaction, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you everybody who's made it this far in the video. This is probably one of the longest reactions I've done, so I do appreciate you very much for sticking around this long and for listening to me ramble and think out loud more more than I often do. I already talk a lot as it is, but I think I did a little more extra in this one, and I apologize for that. But thanks for sticking around for it. And I'm going to go ahead and end the video because it's dang, 40 minutes. I have done this for 40 minutes. Time to end the video. Bye, y'all. See you in the next video. Bye for now.